Good morning, students. In today's lecture, we will start the chapter Pressure on Curved Surfaces. In the previous chapter, you learnt about pressure on the plane surfaces. Whenever a plane surface is in contact with a liquid, the pressure which is exerted on each element of the surface that acts along the normal to the surface, and the thrusts on the different elements of that plane surface forms a system of like parallel forces, and those like parallel forces can be compounded into a single force to get the resultant thrust of the liquid in that case. But in case of a curved surface, these thrusts don't form a system of parallel forces. So how to find the resultant thrust in case of curved surface? That you will learn in this chapter. So first of all, we define the resultant vertical thrust and resultant horizontal thrust. For this, let us consider a curved surface. Suppose it is divided into an indefinitely large number of small elements we have denoted here. The thrust on these elements is acting along the normal to the surface, and their directions are obviously different, and they don't form a system of parallel forces. So, to find the resultant thrust on this curved surface, we resolve the thrusts on the elements of the surface into vertical and horizontal components. The vertical components being in the same direction, they form a system of parallel forces, and the sum of all these vertical components that gives us the resultant vertical thrust on the given surface. Now, in case of horizontal components of these thrusts on the various elements, they do not form a system of parallel forces, because horizontal lines can be drawn in an infinite number of directions in a horizontal plane. So how to find the resultant thrust in this case? In this case, all the horizontal components are resolved into two perpendicular directions, OX and OY. The components of all the horizontal forces resolved parallel to OX, they will be parallel forces, so they can be combined into a single force along OX. That single force we have denoted by X here, and all the resolved parts which are parallel to OY, they are combined to give the single force along the direction OY. So we have denoted the single force along the direction OY by Y. Thus we have obtained the resultants X and Y, which are called resultant horizontal thrusts parallel to OX and OY. So these are resultant vertical thrust and resultant horizontal thrusts. If we denote the resultant vertical thrust by Z and the resultant horizontal thrusts by X and Y, if these three resultants are concurrent, then in that case we can find a single resultant force by the formula square root of x square plus y square plus z square. This is called resultant thrust of the fluid on the given surface. Now, in the next topic, we will discuss how to find resultant vertical thrust. So to find the resultant vertical thrust, in the case when the fluid is above the surface, so let us consider a curved surface ABCD, which is immersed in a homogeneous liquid at rest under gravity. Through every point on this surface, let us draw lines to meet the effective surface. So we have drawn the lines AA dash, CC dash, line BB dash, line DD dash. These are the vertical lines drawn from the points A, B, C, D. So these vertical lines, these lines encloses a cylinder of fluid. The fluid in the cylinder is called superincumbent fluid. This fluid is in equilibrium under the action of forces. First force, the weight of this fluid, which is in the cylinder, and that will act vertically downward. Second force, the vertical component of the reaction of the given surface A, B, C, D on the fluid, and this vertical component of reaction that will act vertically upward. Also, the thrust of the fluid which is surrounding this cylinder, the thrust of this fluid on this curved surface of the cylinder. This is the curved surface of the cylinder. Thrust of the fluid on the curved surface of the cylinder, that will act horizontally. If we resolve the forces vertically, then in case of equilibrium, total upward force will be same as the total downward force. In the downward direction, we have the force weight of the fluid in the cylinder, and in the upward direction, we have vertical component of reaction of the surface ABCD. So in equilibrium, these two forces will be the same. Hence, the resultant vertical thrust is equal to the weight of superincumbent liquid, and this resultant vertical thrust acts through the center of gravity of superincumbent liquid. So in this way, we can find the resultant vertical thrust. In that case, when the fluid is above the surface. So tomorrow we will discuss the problems based on resultant vertical thrust.